Hello everyone, thank you for watching today. One of the questions comments I most frequently hear when I do shows and people are looking at journals is, I don't journal anymore, or I don't know what to do with the journal. So I thought I would just do a flip through and sort of describe all the journals that I am personally currently working in and the different ways you can use whatever kind of journal, whether you purchase it from us on our Etsy shop or you make your own or buy journals from other folks. So let's flip through all these journals and I will give you a rundown of how I use mine. So the first thing I usually tell people, my response is I don't journal either. I don't write like a daily journal, which is certainly something you can easily do. This is the size of our regular journals that we carry, and they're usually filled with colors papers that kind of match the cover. But I don't do a daily journal. This is my gratitude journal. So I like to open it anywhere in the book randomly and just write something down. I don't like to go in order. I always feel like there's too much pressure. So I'll flip it open to somewhere random and just write down what I'm grateful for that day. Kind of pick a cool a cool page that I like, and yeah, so those are my and if I'm having a hard time, I do have some prompts that I printed off the internet to kind of help me out. Sometimes you're having a rough day, you just need a little inspiration. So gratitude journal is one. Now the next closest one that I use for kind of standard writing, this is going to take some space here, let's see, is quotations. Now you certainly don't need to do it in a book like this, but quotations, copying down your favorite quotations, that's another great way to use these, or any kind of a book, is to just collect your favorite quotes. And then, you know, I like to practice my fonts and handwriting just to be a little different. So this is my quotation book, and this is called a lap book. And it's sort of just keeps going and going. All kinds of little flips and flaps. I think I've done a video of this before, maybe not, I'm not sure. But it's all filled with pockets and tags, and these are my journaling cards. So I will write down different quotes, inspiration, just things I've heard that I don't want to forget. And I'm just starting to work on this one, so it's not full yet. Most of these are in progress. And I also have quotes that I had printed out already that I really like. And so I will make tags to feature those. And so they'll be kind of decorative. I haven't written anything on these yet. But, you know, making a tag and then having a journal spot on the back to write down your quotes. Or if somebody's already given you something inspirational. So a quotations journal is another way to use up a journal. Or you can also doodle, scribble, calligraphy separately on a different piece of paper and then add that in, glue it in. I think a lot of people are always kind of afraid of starting somewhere. So sometimes starting outside of your journal and then adding them in is a nice way to sort of get over that fear of the blank page or ruining a good journal. So there's another one. Another one that I like is sort of, kind of more altered book than journal. Taking an existing book and using the pages that are already inside. So this is just an old binder, and I love old retro 50s, 60s photography, and so I'm just working in this book. This is one of my favorite all-time collages. Thank you, Sean Connery. And so I just collage in it and use the pages as inspiration or just covering them up completely, like just collaging on it. And I can take them out of the binder. I can gesso over the pages. Some of them are color, some of them are black and white, and sometimes I just open it up randomly. Again, just find something that is fun and play with it. And this is, I barely started in this one, so I've got a lot of pages to play with. And another type is just a standard, again, standard book that tear out some pages, alter them, glue them together, made some pockets, created some writing space. This is gessoed, so then you can write on page. I'll gesso more pages. Some of them I've glued together to give a nice firm surface to collage onto. And I started playing in a little bit. This I think is a pocket on the end. There's so many YouTube videos on how to create altered books. And yeah, just take an old book, and I did glue a lot of these together, I can feel. Tore some out, because if you don't tear some pages out, it's going to get super fat. So you want to tear about half of them out so it gets small, and then the more you work on it, it'll give space. So this is, I'm still kind of unfinished. And this one, fold it in half, there's a pocket. And that's another way to create surfaces, to write on, doodle, scribble. You can, these are a great place to do that sort of storytelling or poetry where you circle words to create your own story, or you can black out everything but the words you choose. It's kind of just a fun way. You're not gonna ruin a nice new white paper journal or anything like that. It's a good way to use up kind of interesting books you've had around. Now, next, I wouldn't even call these journals so much as like they're better than a box to put all my experiments that I like to do with different pages when I'm making new journals. When I come up with a paper or a pattern or a page style I like, this is simply cheap cardboard. I think this is actually an old box of wine, chipboard, cereal box, I don't know, that I just glued on some painted papers. And then this is my thing I love, is the elastic. This just makes a really simple, ever-changing, if I want to try out a sample new junk journal, it's a place for me to just stick pages and things I don't want to forget, but just ideas. It's like a scrapbook of ideas that, so they're just not laying all around my workspace. Kind of like a sketchbook version of junk journaling, you know, just a place to stick in ideas so I don't forget them. And then I can always take them out. It's really easy to pull pages out, rearrange, and let me see, find a middle of a signature here. Here we go. And just being able to take them out, rearrange it, play with the new one again, don't want to forget it, stick it back in there. So this is just a collection of ways to, you know, when I come up with something new that maybe sort of did or didn't work, just a place to shove them all. And this is similar, and I absolutely love this book cover, but I haven't, since it's a little too small, basically it's just a file folder. Same thing, it's just a collection of some favorite papers, dyeing techniques, a way for me to keep notes on what I did so I don't forget, some kind of happy accidents of ways to make journal pages, or so, and eventually I will add elastic like I did that one. But that's a great way just to, and you know, instead of a file folder in your cabinet, I just keep it in a really cool old book cover. Someday that'll get elastic, but you know, I don't mind it that way either. Now these guys are more, I guess, what you would call just a regular art journal. This one for sure. This was an old children's board book that I just glued papers into. I mean, it's just collage of gel prints. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. It's a board book, so it's got a nice firm structure. There's only so many pages, so it doesn't take a long time to fill up. And it's just really satisfying. It only takes a few minutes to do a spread. And it's a really fast way, inexpensive to find board books. And I sometimes will gesso the pages first. And this one, I even kept some of the original illustrations inside because it was about color. But a really great way to get into sort of art journaling if you're feeling a little intimidated. They're small, sturdy, easy to find, and that's a really fun way to experiment with art journaling. Now this one is where I keep my collage, my cairn collage. I got really into doing these stones. I've done a video of how I painted all the papers for these. And so this is just where I like to make my collages of my little stones, pebbles. And it's on different types of paper, nothing fancy. I just wanted something tall so I could stack up my cairns. And this was painted paper that I used. And an old little mat from a picture I didn't use. So, another art journal. And this, I guess, is kind of both a junk journal and an art journal. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I kept the cover and filled it with my own papers. A lot of ledger paper, maps, scrap papers, blueprints, whatever. And this is where I like to make artist trading cards, or not even so much make the card as find special little parts of dyed papers that I love, or scraps. That was one that I traded with someone. Or even just special little bits, you know, of dyed painted papers that I think are cool. And I cut them out into artist trading card size. And then this has become my album for my artist trading cards. You could do the same thing with postcards, any little mini doodles you like to do. And then I just flip through, find a page I think it goes on, and just make a little album of my little, kind of like a little scrapbook. And I really enjoy doing this. I like to work on this when I bring it to shows. When it's slow or something really easy when I travel. It's I mean, this and a glue stick is all I need. It's all ready to go. It's a really quick travel project to do a little sort of album like that. I mean, that's not even an art card. It was just a cool piece of collage paper I like. So you can do it anyway. There's no right or wrong way. It's just however you want to do it. Okay. And last. So last is this big tome, which I've done videos on before. And this is just turning into sort of a fantasy scrapbook of maps or worlds I'm making up out of my head. I decided to make it just kind of an atlas. And I'm making myself title pages. I'm going to put in table of contents and just kind of make it up. Some of that Japanese marbling I like to do looks like topo maps to me. This looks to me like a volcano that erupted. Just, you know, so whatever to me looks like a topo map. And then I created these movable tabs so I can make little table of contents and tabs. More maps I created, getting ready to create more just kind of fantasy map idea. And so I'm just going in and having fun making anything related to place, just sort of a giant art journal based on sort of like a, I don't know, fantasy post-apocalyptic world. I don't know. But those are some of the ways that I am still working in all of these, and I love to just jump into whatever I'm in the mood for. And sometimes I'm in the mood for really getting deep into my head and creating an actual fantasy place, or just ripping up papers and creating a really quick layout in a board book. It is whatever you want to make them. And if you have several, you don't have to feel like you're not doing it right, or there is no right or wrong way. The thing is, just get something you love, maybe a few, play, and start creating. Start creating. They're all works of art, and they're all come out of you and your heart and your mind and your thoughts. There's no wrong way.